God knows what. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted on.
Keep us posted.
If
Keep
we
us
have
posted.
some Rottweiler questionable
Yeah,
puppies
we'll be
coming.
giving one of those away to the lucky listeners.
Those are the prizes now.
Yeah, man. Just to wrap up this weekend, we had a great weekend. We went down to Prison Break Tattoo. We met with DJ Daniels and his dad Theodis, along with Anne-Marie Carrizales, hero police officer from Texas. Man, that little man, DJ, if you can bring up his picture, man, and we'll do a little, show you a little recap of what this weekend was all about. He is so inspirational, man.
He's funny.
He is funny as hell,
He's
but
on point.
inspirational. He got inducted to the Thin Blue Line LAMC this weekend, and he also got inducted into the Blue Knights, one of the another big law enforcement motorcycle club.
I think it's all Tarrant County as well. Did one?
They did.
Cops.
Well, he's coming to Fort Worth in May.
Saw it on Fox 4.
Yeah. Well, no, he was with Governor Abbott.
Yeah.
He got
something like that.
Yeah, he got inducted into Governor Abbott's his protection detail. He's been inducted into over 900 police agencies across the country, and he is not slowing down. He is looking to break 1,000. This kid has the willpower of a lion, man. He is just, but he's got the sensitivity as such a fine little gentleman, because Steve Piper was there and he played the bagpipes as we walked in.
Love the bagpipes.
And my boss from Republic brought his family
we don't
there.
have a boss.
Well, my
Who's
boss
that?
from Republic, because he lives in Houston, he came down to meet DJ, and he brought his family, and his daughter was walking in, and DJ was walking in front of her, and he stops and he looks down, and her shoe is untied. And this little gentleman bent down, and he doesn't have really good equilibrium. He loses his balance, but he got down on one knee and he made sure her shoe was tied. He relaced it and checked the other shoe. If we could play that clip, play that clip, because when you see that, you'll see DJ just bend down and just do this little girl's shoe, man. It was so inspirational. Got it up? All right. Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Man, if you've seen that video of DJ Daniels, it was just, like I said, man, inspirational. This kid lives in the moment. He doesn't worry about tomorrow. He doesn't care about yesterday. And I see where he gets all of his strength from. I got to sit down with Theodis, his dad, who was a Navy veteran, and he is just one of the strongest men I know. For a dad to have to go through this on his own, he's a single dad, and to be able to raise 3 kids. Theodis's mom was murdered, and he's lived a life of challenges. And now this with DJ. Now DJ had 13 surgeries, and they thought they had the last 2 tumors out of his brain, and now he's got 4 more that have attached to his spinal cord.
No way.
Yeah. But you know what? The kid just
he's strong.
He's just like, you know what? Whatever God's will is God's will. And, for that to come out of a 13-year-old's mouth, we should all live like that. If it's God's will, it's God's will. Live each day not worrying about what tomorrow brings or what yesterday had.
Live every day for what it is.
That's it, man. That's it. And that's what that kid did. And we're real happy to have met him. And he's going to be in the Fort Worth area. We'll let you guys know when, because he's just been traveling around like crazy. So we got some events coming up.
Just some.
Just some.
Just some.
Just a few. We will
Brotherhood for the Fallen, I think, is the next one, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start off with the Celebrity Softball Classic.
Yes.
Which is coming up in October, October 4th. Tickets start going on sale July 4th. Man, get your tickets quick, because that is an amazing event for our veterans, first responders. And that is at the Riders Field in Frisco. It's hosted by Verve Forever Foundation. And what they do is all the money that is raised, and last year I think they raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $750,000. And it's distributed throughout about 12 or 15 different veteran, first responders, and children organizations. So everybody gets a nice check. All the celebrities and the athletes that show up to this show up on their own dime. Nobody is paid for this. It's all volunteer, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger each year. This year, it's going to be the 10th. If you want to be a donor, or if you want to sponsor something, you can go to GiveButterPage.com. Go to the celebrity softball classic page, and it will bring you over to the Give Butter page, and then you can make your donation. You can help out this wonderful charity, and we're going to keep you updated as we move on. Then April 19th, we had our Fort Worth brothers in here not too long ago, and they are going to have their Brotherhood for the Fallen car show. It's their second annual, and that's going to be held at the Heritage Trace Parkway Church at 4201 Heritage Trace. Registration for your car is $30. Pre-registration is $25. And for more info, contact EK at 817-226-9960. And
that was a good turnout.
Last year, it was probably a couple of hundred cars.
Yeah, that church has a big spread out parking lot. Yeah, it was a good turnout.
All the money raised from there, that's another volunteer organization. All the money raised at the Brotherhood for the Fallen car show goes to helping our fallen officers and their families. Brotherhood of the Fallen travels across the country. They send 2 representatives from each chapter and attend the funerals and try to support the family. So in these small little rural police departments where people aren't showing up for these funerals, it gives the family a little solace that, hey, representatives from Texas or now in Kansas or Montana, and we care. It helps them out. Just like Glenn Lawson Law, they care. They're not that big box or billboard attorney. They care. They have compassion, and they will be on your side. So if you ride, make sure you have Glenn Lawson on your side. Oh, the Biker Wolfpack. Then we're going to bring in Mindy. So let's take a quick little commercial break. Let's play the Biker Wolfpack, and then we're going to bring in Glenn and Mindy, and we're going to talk about some hops and props.
Biker Wolfpack Law is a safety organization founded by myself alongside Robert Howell with the primary focus of motorcycle safety, advocacy for injured bikers, and just general protection for those injured while riding motorcycles in the great state of Texas. Biker Wolfpack Law is a division of Glenn Larson Law Injury Attorneys, which is my firm. What's different about Biker Wolfpack Law is it's a community-based, event-based connection component to make sure that motorcyclists have all of the safety information they need, all of the legal information they need, and frankly, if needed, that full-blown legal advocacy in times of injury through no fault of their own.
One of our big events is we do ASM classes, which are accident scene management classes, which are put on with the Road Guardians, group of riders that are usually EMTs, doctors, nurses that also ride. And so they know what can happen when you're out there by yourself. And so it's a very intense class, like how to do tourniquets, how to get a helmet off of a person without hurting their neck more, how to get somebody out of the middle of the road. We do those a couple times a year, and the more safe riders are out there, the better it is.
The second division and component of Biker Wolfpack Law is to sponsor local musicians at bike nights, or other community events that involve motorcyclists, but also just the community as a whole. And then third is larger charity organization events or rides to get out in the fresh air and have some fun. What I love most about representing bikers and motorcyclists across the great state of Texas is really one thing. It's about hearing the story. It's about going to motorcycle events, constantly meeting new people and making new connections. One of the reasons why I started Biker Wolfpack Law was to defeat and counteract many of the biases that are out there that, quote, motorcyclists are just dangerous. Make sure that motorcyclists are seen as exactly who they are, very hardworking, very responsible, and very dedicated individuals that deserve the justice that they need.
Hey, welcome back, man. That was the Biker Wolfpack. Oh, 737 The Wolf. We're here with Mindy and Glenn. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Yeah, hey, Mindy, how's it going?
It's going. How are you doing there?
Hey,
yeah, we just met. It's great.
Yeah,
I've heard
absolutely.
about you.
Hey, we just met, but we've got a great cause and a great reason to be here. So thank you for being here today.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
Always happy to be here.
So once again, man, we were going over some of our events that are coming up because every Saturday is pretty much packed with helping our first responders and our veterans. So I want to get into April 26th, Hops and Props. Mindy, you've been part of Hops and Props for a long time. You're part of the museum. Tell us a little bit about Hops and Props.
Well, if anybody that doesn't know about Hops and Props yet, it's their 10-year anniversary. They don't do, so the Fort Worth Aviation Museum doesn't do a gala. They do the Hops and Props as their big fundraiser for their entire year. And if you don't know a lot about the museum as well, they're an outreach. They do a lot of kids. They work with the kids. So we get the emails from staff that says, hey, we've got 100 school kids coming in on this day. What docents can be here, help basically.
Right.
And to really expose the kids to something that is bigger than them, get them excited about aviation and planes. I know something that you really like. And I feel like a big kid out there.
Mindy?
See, I think it has
no
to
secret.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the beer and the planes. We've got great music. We've got great food this
Music
year.
to my heart, right?
Yeah.
There.
Are we going to get you up in the airplane this year? I ask her this all the time.
Yes.
For the beer flight?
Oh,
She
okay.
committed. She committed.
I will do a beer flight. If our sponsor puts us in one.
Well, he's already
Well, if
paid.
Robert has anything to do with it, he's all over it.
He's
so
already paying for
bugging me
Robert.
about it, so.
Yeah.
And that's Robert Howell's birthday, man, from the Biker Wolfpack. That's his birthday weekend, right?
No,
Oh,
he already hit it. He
Oh.
already, but still, it's his birthday month. So
Yeah, it's birthday.
yeah,
month.
he's got an excuse, and I didn't get to see him on his birthday, so we might be doing something special.
And that's like the ultimate beer gift and beer flight.
It is the ultimate. So the weekend. So you're not only giving back to your community, you're giving back to a worthy cause. You're giving back to people that truly put their heart and soul into this museum, and are there for the kids. You're giving back to a piece of history, which is something that I think all of us really treasure here. It's one of those things where I'll be there from early in the morning till really, really late, doing everything that I can. Right. I think they're going to put me in charge of shuttling people around this year on top of what I normally do, which is driving around, making sure everybody's all right. They did want me to drive the Jeep last year, but then the Jeep kind of didn't make it. So, but it's from
You're
World
gonna
War
drive a tank
II.
instead, or what?
Hey, I would drive it.
Yes.
I've got friends that own tanks that literally
Yeah,
take them
I
around
hear
the
you.
block.
Our buddies in Florida have 3 tanks.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah. Well, Taco Bell. Y'all know Taco? You've had him on the show.
Did we? We may have.
I think so. Yeah, Taco.
I know a lot of tacos.
Hey, y'all stop talking about. I
haven't
haven't eaten since 7:00 this morning, so let's keep going now.
So-
roll out.
Yeah,
No,
roll
I'm
out of the taco.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good and fun, and it's gonna be a long day, and it is a rain or shine event. So if you're planning on coming out for Hops and Props this year, if it's raining, we'll be there.
Yes.
If it's 80 degrees with 90%
Windy,
humidity,
everything.
we'll be there. Yeah, windy. It's always windy.
windy.
Yeah, always.
Well,
So
it's an
it's
open airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
And
mean,
it's
a
like
working
over a
airport.
dozen breweries, I think, that are committed in there. I mean,
I think
probably.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think you hit
exactly
about
how many.
18.
Yeah.
About 18 different
So
craft
you get your
breweries
little
there.
your little sample cup, that you pay for, and you get to go around and sample all the
All the
beers
beer.
as many times as you want.
Yeah, and
I
then
know.
you know, and I-
Unlimited until they run out.
How does it work with the tickets and all that kind of stuff? And to get to it, I mean, folks that want to get, are digital in today's world with their wallets that are on their phones nowadays. Can the people do that, or some of the folks that like myself may just want to show up in person and buy it that day?
You
Is there
ask
a way to
good
do that?
questions, Glenn. Thank you.
Sure.
Because the parking is different this year.
Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So you have to have cash at the door,
Got
or
it.
you have to prepay for your parking. And we've got a couple of spots. I know that we're going to have an off-site parking this year. I think that's the shuttle bus that I'll be running, getting everybody to and from the event. I'm not quite sure. My responsibilities change every time we have a gaggle meeting. So it's one of those. Yeah.
A gaggle meeting?
It's called a gaggle meeting.
Hey,
All right.
you
We
said
need
it.
a
You
gag-
said
It's
it.
like, it's like trying to herd,
Gaggles.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gaggle. Everybody's over here. Everybody's over there.
A gaggle here, a gaggle there, gaggles everywhere.
Gaggles everywhere. And so, yeah, last year with our overflow parking and stuff, I mean, I was driving out to the North 40 on the airport trying to get people into the event. So, but it was a lot of fun. I got to see you all run around and drink beer and do all the things.
How is that different than all of our weekends?
Well,
Not only that, they have
not different than yesterday.
they got
No.
some wonderful vendors there supporting our military and
Yes.
aviation, and there's so much stuff for the kids to do.
It's very kid friendly.
Yeah, it's very kid friendly, and like you said, these schools bring these kids for field trips where they learn history. And we were at the Vintage Air Museum where we did the pancake
Mhm,
breakfast,
Mhm.
and we met some amazing kids down there that because of these trips, they have gone into ROTC,
Mhm.
they have gone into aviation, they want to be flight mechanics, they want to fly airplanes. So it puts these kids in a career path other than being TikTok stars or
Mhm.
video junkies.
It's about the history too.
And plus the history. We saw some of those planes. Remember that one? What was that? The Hollywood plane,
DC-10?
owned by Merv
The
Griffin.
DC-10
Oh, no,
was
yeah,
good. The one
yeah.
that everybody
Yeah.
ran, the DC-10.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one in the hangar that we saw?
Yes, the one. No, not the one with the
Which-
machine guns.
No, I
The-
know.
The other one that I think it was the Hollywood whatever
it was a King Air, Corsair or something like
Yeah,
that.
Corsair.
It was a Corsair. But it was owned by like a TV mogul.
Yeah,
You did
yeah,
the
it was.
interview.
Yeah,
You did the interview.
Yeah, it was owned by Merv Griffin.
Yeah.
And like Burt Reynolds flew on it.
Yeah.
All these big Hollywood stars, Dinah Shore, all of them back in the
Close.
50s and 60s.
The
So
stories that
the
airplane could
oh
tell.
my God, I didn't want to go in there with a blue light at all,
I
man.
bet they're on the list.
Yeah, Gene Hackman, God rest his soul, he flew the plane. So you get to see the flight log and all these heroes and stars and everything else
Mhm.
that were part of really making history. And that's what you'll get at
Yeah.
Hops and Props.
Got one
Yeah.
more question for you. So if folks want to, like Robert is really into specific types of aircraft and different things like that, what's the website they go to get a preview of what types of aircraft they might be able to see?
So they're going to go to Fort Worth, just Google Fort Worth Aviation Museum,
Got
and then it'll take them to the site. And then, because one of the things that we did was we took the F-18 and put it back out on the grounds. And the day before, actually, it's about the week before. I mean, we're out running around putting ant bait down because we don't want the kids getting stung by fire ants. but
All the
we can't-
details, right?
Yeah, we can't help it.
Yeah.
It's Texas. The best way, I would definitely say that the best way to find out about Hops and Props is to go on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a great big presence there. To just do the search Hops and Props,
Mhm.
and then you'll see, because it's the 100th anniversary of Meacham Airport this year. So there's a lot that's going into this year that we're really excited about. And I mentioned the food earlier, but I had they kept asking me, they were like, why do you want this one food vendor, at the event? And I was like, I want to be able to clean powdered sugar off the airplanes for days, because it's funnel cakes, it's lemonade, it's hot dogs,
Mhm.
it's everything that kids love. And with the amount of kids that were there last year, I was like, Heaven's Cake would be perfect for this.
Mhm.
Just run around with all that stuff.
What you got to do is got to get some dog people in there, some pet people, because there was a lot of dogs there
Yeah,
last
it's-
year.
it's
People
fun.
bring it because it is pet friendly too. So they had service dogs, they had regular dogs. Everybody was walking their pets, and
So we have a reptile guy that comes, and the kids.
My son loves the reptile guy.
They free. I mean, the adults are almost as bad as the kids because they're just like snakes.
He wants to come home with like 6 of them. I'm like, put it down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's got them all on his arms, walking around like, Mom. I'm like,
out of the house. Out of the house.
Yeah. So
hey, wait, real quick. Just want to give a big shout out to Johnny Rizzo with Motorcycle Mayhem. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny joined.
Thank you, Johnny.
I see some drinking in the near future.
Johnny's going to be actually here in Texas in May, so we can't wait to hook up with him. And he joined us on that Sunday interview with DJ. So I want to thank you, Johnny and Dawn, for being a big part of that show. That was really a success. We got calls from Kansas. Did you see the emails? Mm-hmm. We got calls from Kansas and Missouri that really want to induct DJ. So we had a pretty far reach that day on a spontaneous broadcast. So I want to thank you for being part of that. You know, it was really great. It was really great.
Yeah, looks like a good time.
Yeah. So we don't want to run too much out of time. I want to introduce Glenn. Glenn with Glenn Lawson Law. You know, last time you were here, we were talking about different lawsuits that are going on and how you can protect yourself. So what do we? The fire foam.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we get to that, I want to make a transition here to another great event that's going on over here in North Richland Hills in October. Actually, September 29th. Let me get it more specifically. And it's a Thin Blue Line Foundation golf tournament for the Dallas chapter. It's an amazing second annual tournament. My firm and myself and Robert are going to be the title sponsors again. We're super proud of that. And it's going to raise awareness and, of course, donations and money and financial support for not only police officers and their families when they're either severely injured or killed in the line of duty, but also for first responders as well. In general, a very common cause that everyone in this room.
Pitbull stole a golf cart last
year. Yeah. She's going to be there.
She jacked the golf cart last year.
So, and we're going to do some different fun things this year. Including a celebrity long drive element, which we'll talk about later. I might be there myself on that hole and for extra donations. So been known to hit a few long balls every once in a while. So we'll be doing that. We're super excited. And then for the, again,
I'll be practicing
support
my short game at the
hops
bar.
and props. I have a question for you. If some folks want to be really invest in donations or support to some of the bigger things that are going on that day in terms of, the really big ticket things. Can they make reservations for like the beer flights type stuff, or how does that work?
Oh yeah, the tickets are online right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's first come first serve kind of thing, and
great.
Yeah, limited
availability, right?
Yes.
Again, you make great points, so thank you again. Sure. Because I can't express this enough. This is their fundraiser for the year, and a lot of the crew right now is in California bringing a plane back, and so people don't necessarily understand the time, the effort, the dedication that the people that I get to, work with, volunteer with, give to that museum. And so just to know that they want to continue and people give to that experience that the kids get to have. Because I mean, they can climb all over those warbirds and they can get in and they can get in the cockpits and they can, we've got flight simulators. We've got all of these amazing
things. So this
is
my kids third year. It's your grandkids probably if they're coming again. Second year.
Like last year was my first year there and I was totally blown. I was totally blown.
I'm excited.
And then you just let them go. Basically, it's all fenced in. You just let them go and they climb in all the planes.
All right. Well, if you need a little security enforcement, just let me know.
Well, there is.
And the reenactment. The reenactment, the group that reenacts the World War I and World War II, they're there and they are just spot on detailed.
And they're dedicated.
And they're dedicated for their uniforms and everything else.
Oh, yeah. Those kids show up at 7:00 in the morning. And thank God that's when I have to be there because some of the parents will just drop them off and be like, all right, go. And I'm like, well, you can help us stack chairs for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until the rest of them get there. But just, it's good to see and it's fun and there's a lot of things to do.
Setup. I mean, I remember there even being a game where Max was able to shoot like Nerf guns and like a thing. And he won a ride in the Jeep. So we got to go around in the field. So he got to like do the gun on the
Yeah,
back of the
yeah,
Jeep
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. That's the video with my lashes in the back. Yeah.
Thank
Well-
you for that
and
information.
One of the things that we are not going to have this year because it's always so windy is the drone cage, because we want to get kids invested in that as well, not only with the parents, but that's something that we decided not to do this year. So because every year it's so windy that we just can't do it. So
Right. Yeah.
But the helicopter flights, the beer flights, all of that.
The ultimate beer flight.
The ultimate beer flight.
Ultimate
beer
beer
on
flight.
a beer plane with a beer.
With a beer flight.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
what kind of
one-
plane is it again? They
take the DC-10 up. Yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool.
It's impressive.
It
Well,
is impressive.
It's amazing to know the passion that you have in this project and that project brings, because I believe it brings out the best in what America once was and all of that.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to start washing the dishes down the corner and talk about politics today. But, I think we can all agree that the foundations of what, during that time, especially in the World War II principles that were, a very common, most unified country in a lot of aspects, maybe not in all aspects, but some of those principles from days begone need to come back. Okay.
Hell
and
yeah.
so one of which is being passionate about something you believe in. And that's a good transition for me, if I could.
Hell
please.
yeah, go.
So
By all means.
earlier, a couple weeks ago, I spoke about what are some of the principles of hiring a great personal injury lawyer, and what should you look for. And I want to give a little more detail, and I'm going to give 3 things today. Number 1 is passion. You've got to hire somebody that's passionate about representing people and serving them with a servant heart and producing results and connecting with them to tell their story. If you don't hear passion in the person that you're speaking with from the firm that you're hiring, move on. Number 2, it's very clear that you have to have a unified team that you're hiring, i.e. the wolf pack, okay, or whichever firm you're going to go with. It's a unified approach. It's a very, very traumatic time for a lot of people, or worse. And so you have to have a sense of cohesiveness, a sense of these people not only get me, but they get my story and they've got my back the whole time and they're going to guide me through the process. It's the peace of mind. So the second principle, besides the first principle was just passion, the second principle is a unification or a unified front. And the third one, most importantly, is someone that's absolutely certain, and they do only that. Do not hire someone that is a jack of all trades. Oh, my brother is a lawyer that does family law. I don't care. I don't do divorces. I never will. I don't care. I wish you the best in your experience, but we do one thing and we do it really well. And that's the principle you should look for every single time.
Yeah,
So that's the
and
3 things.
And your guys ride, right? Most of your attorneys ride, so they know the what a biker goes through. They know the mindset.
Yeah,
they're in the mental mindset of the biker. So when they bring this, when they talk to the family, they know what the biker was going through prior, during, and the actions of the autos and what he saw. And you can't get that off a billboard attorney.
The bottom line is you just got to, like back in the day, 100 years ago, in the days of Ellis Island, all that kind of stuff, the hands that built the country. Okay. The bottom line is a roofer was a roofer, a painter was a painter, a owner of a merchant store was an owner of a merchant store. It's kind of a bad example, but you had one trade and you did it really well and you stayed with it and you were passionate about it and you served your family and you fed your dog and you made a living along the way and you helped people, and together as a team, as a unified approach, it worked. And today's approach of diversification and blah, 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 it just, it doesn't at least vet with me personally. All right. So I'm done with that little rant. So now I got to give some information, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So there's 2 pieces of information that the general public needs to know about, especially those in law enforcement, especially those that live near Air Force bases, military bases, or live near fire stations or things of that nature, where the water, unfortunately, due to some 3M products over the years, that a lot of this stuff we see in the Teflon stuff that's water based, that is polyfluoroalkyl, and it is basically washed into the public sector. And when I mean the public sector, the entire world. Okay. 1978, 3M basically continued to create these products. And still to this day, unfortunately, this polyfluoroalkyl has been found in polar bear blood. It's been found in pretty much 98% of the human population. And here's the deal. if you or a loved one suffer from kidney cancer or testicular cancer and you live in or near a military base or in a high populated area, you must contact a lawyer right away, including my firm if you'd like to, because the window for making those claims is closing in this summer in June. So bottom line, if you suffer from those things, it's really, really serious. And those are what's called mass tort, but I just need to provide the information because it's well known. And then next year, if you're a property owner, you may have a right to claim compensation for remedial measures such as your whole yard being uprooted because it has this poison in it that we all have. Okay. Then next topic is a really passionate, simple process, and it has to do with what are called port catheters. When I first heard the word catheter, I thought, oh my God, what, no thanks, right?
When you say that, I already get a twinge.
So a catheter is just a vessel. It's a medical device that goes in the body to allow some types of substance to come into the body. And a port catheter, it means that it's underneath the skin. Okay. And there's a manufacturer out there called Bard. 400,000 of these Bard port catheters are put in the United States citizens every year. 400,000 on average. They have a 60% failure rate. And this isn't well known. You can look it up. And so the issue is this. If a person is undergoing cancer and they have to go through chemotherapy, these catheters are vessels to allow the chemotherapy to go from the outside world into their body and directly into their bloodstreams, hopefully, and not into their veins. That's the basic principle of it. The issue is that once they're installed, if they are in there for too long, they deteriorate over time. And when they deteriorate, if they do, 60% of the time, they can cause a little fissure or a slight little roughness. And so, in short, if the catheter is inside your chest and it's smooth, if it's smooth, it's working correctly. If it's not smooth, bacteria comes, you have a central line, blood infection, and probably sepsis, and you might die. So there's three main criteria for those types of states, and it's really bad. And so if you have one of these things, here's the message that I'm trying to spread. It's yes, there are cases, and you can contact our firm to see if you qualify for that type of case. You have to have a certain type of injuries. It's in the federal court system, and we're working through all that with some of the other firms that are on the leads of that project. But here's the bottom line. What they're not telling you on the warning label is that if you have one of those things in your body and you're so excited that you're cancer-free or you're getting better, get the damn thing out of your system. Okay? It needs to come out. And if you look at other places in the world, that disclaimer is made by BART. However, in the United States, they don't make that disclaimer for a lot of other monetary reasons that they want to keep selling 400,000 of them every year. The bottom line is, if you have one of those things in your body, please make sure to check with your provider and get it out as soon as you possibly can. That's my message. Thanks for listening.
Well, that was blunt. If you don't get it out, you're going to die. And you know what? So many people, so many people are, undergoing treatment for chemo nowadays, and so many people have these ports in, and you won't know until it happens, right? And I'm sure the doctors are not going to say, "Oh, a little sliver of plastic broke off in your veins, and now you."
Well, it's actually more deceitful than that. It's the thing is there; it doesn't break, but you don't know it until it's too late.
Until it's too late,
because the substance, the surface substance on the science breaks down in a microcosm way, and it causes little pockets where these bacteria reside, and the doctors won't know it, and you won't know it, and then all of a sudden you'll have this central line blood infection, and you're in deep shit really quickly. So the answer is try to be aware of it. Yes, it can be helpful, but there's a 60% failure rate, not necessarily a break rate, failure rate. It's a little different. They don't necessarily break, but they fail. And you need to get it out after its life, after its shelf life is done. And get
What's the shelf life? What's the shelf life? Does it matter per manufacturer?
As it does matter for different manufacturers. There's others, but they all have issues. And the question is just the shelf life. I think according to the doctors, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I've done a lot of research on this, and I just attended a conference, Mass Tort Made Perfect, in Las Vegas for 5 days about these topics, which is where I got this information and researched it myself too, is that you should consult with your physician as soon as you're, quote, better, and then get it out.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask questions if you are undergoing this and you're going to be getting a port put in. Don't be afraid to ask these generalized questions.
Right.
You know,
Just know what's going on.
Yeah. Don't just,
Be in the know.
yeah, just don't take, that your doctor knows.
Mm-mm.
Ask the questions, get a second opinion,
Couple opinions.
you know, because, it's your life, it's your body. Make sure you know what's going into it. So, Glenn, I want to thank you, brother.
Sure.
I do appreciate
Always a
it.
pleasure.
I do
Looking
appreciate
forward
it.
to Hops and Props and people,
And a beer flight.
save me a couple spots, please, on that plane.
It fills up fast.
I hear you.
We'll get
Thank
you all the
you.
information, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
man.
All right,
Thank you very much. Man, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring in Laurie Montoya with some biker safety right
Where's
after
she at?
this.
Where is she at? Where in the world is Laurie?
Walking down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I'm moving to the music. Step to the beat. I woke up today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right. Yeah, so lift me up. I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on.
What is wrong with you? Are you stupid?
Didn't see you, I'm so sorry.
You pulled right out in front of me. Wait, you see that big bike with the bright headlight shining right at you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of good that does me now. I can't believe this. I gotta show you some things, kid. And you need to listen. Listen good. Don't forget anything that I'm gonna say.
No, I won't. I won't forget.
I don't think we got much time. Get in. Trust me, kid. Just hit the gas and keep going left. Pull over in that spot. See those cars and trucks coming towards us down the road, kid? How fast are they going?
I don't know, maybe 35, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's about right. Keep looking at the road, kid. Now, see that motorcycle way in the distance? How fast is that going?
I have no idea.
Keep looking.
I have no idea. It's hard to tell.
Exactly, kid. Exactly. That bike is much smaller than a car. You get me, buddy? Much smaller. Makes it tough to judge its speed and distance. You see where I'm going? Whenever you see that single headlight or two headlights close together, you have got to give it some extra space. Simple rule, kid. Look twice. Before you ever pull out, before you ever do anything around a bike, you have got to look twice.
Look twice. Got it.
All right, back out on the road, kid. Follow that bike. Give him a little breathing space. You see that taillight? How big is it?
Looks pretty small from here.
Exactly. And you know what else? Because those taillights are always on,
It's a heck of a lot harder to notice when they put on their brakes, especially in the daytime.
See what he did there? moved his bike over so he can be seen by the car ahead of him. It's easy enough for a car to get lost in a blind spot, even easier for a motorcycle. That's why you have to be sure there's nobody there before you ever change lanes. Something tells me we don't have a lot of time left, kid. You're doing good. Might be hope for you yet. Take a left up at the next light.
Big Bear!
Wild Bill! Hey, buddy.
Nice ride, man. Why aren't you on your bike?
Big Bear! Wild Bill! Dog! Teaching the kid how to drive around bikes. See you later. Look at that! Bikes accelerate so much faster than cars, and they brake faster than most cars too, so don't ever get too close. We gotta get back. Motorcycles are vulnerable around any kind of car, kid. A little dent for you could be something horrible for us. Doesn't matter who's at fault, the rider always gets the worst of it.
I got it.
Serious injury or even death.
I got it. Seriously. I got it, Big Bear.
Call me Randy, kid.
Randy? Big Bear fits you better. Your name's Randy, huh?
Since the day I was born. Since the day I was born. You got a name, kid?
Ian. It's Ian.
Ian. You're all right, Ian. Makes this all the harder.
Don't go back to your bike, Big Bear.
Got to. You need to get in your car. Now.
Just stay. We can change what's...
Don't work that way, kid. Ian, remember, look
twice. I got it.
No! Randy, no!
It was a powerful video, man, uploaded by Laurie Montoya with Biker Down. You know, really showing what drivers' perspective is when they see a motorcycle coming down the road. And that's why there's so many left turn accidents. I mean, Glenn, you see those all the time, right?
Every day.
Laurie, thank you for sharing those. That is
I know it took up a little bit chewed up a little bit of my time, but really, if you watch the whole thing, it really something that I ask everybody to download, play it for your kids, play it for your friends, play it for anybody that you see driving distracted, fidgeting at the radio. It really is a very powerful message. And the big topic for me this month is it's National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. And that's not just about motorcycles. That's about everybody that's getting in a car and you have screaming kids, or you're just, anytime you're taking your eyes off the road and your hands aren't on the wheel, you are at risk to miss something. And it takes just seconds to hit a car, to hit a bike, or to hit anyone. And I just really wanted to resonate that with everybody, that this is a month that we are leading up to. May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, but distracted driving is one of the number one killers in our country in vehicular accidents, second to impaired driving or things like that. And it can affect everybody. It affects pedestrians that are at crosswalks and people are driving distracted and they run over people that are using the crosswalks. It happens every day. Thousands of accidents a day in this country caused by some form of distracted driving. So we always are blaming the cars. And the reality is that there's a lot of ways that bikers can also be distracted on their bike, such as, using their cell phone. I mean, many of us have it on our handlebars, and so now when that phone rings or we're Bluetoothing, we try to answer it. We're taking our eyes off the road for a minute to see who's calling. It's a very dangerous thing. I always say, leave your phone in your saddlebag. We're supposed to be out enjoying the freedom of the road. Passengers, you can be having a conversation with the passenger in the back and do one of these, like to talk to them, and you're going to miss something. Music too loud so that you can't hear law enforcement or an ambulance or something like that. Visual distractions. I live in Colorado. I'm here in Las Vegas again. And when I'm driving, it's absolutely majestic out there. Or I'm looking up at the hawk. I always say passengers get to see more of the road and the beauty than the motorcycle rider. But it is possible for a motorcycle rider to get distracted. Fatigue is also a very big one for motorcycle riders to be aware of, as far as being too tired. And weather conditions, you got to be really careful of the rain and the fog and bright sunlight and stuff. Mechanical issues, when you're riding your bike and you're trying to listen for that sound that doesn't sound right, or you may have an oil leak or something like that. It's better just to pull over. Your friends that love you will wait, or you can catch up to them. But it just really is. We've had a lot of rider error in my area, and a lot of my help requests are some form of rider error, So just being very thoughtful of, when you're riding, just to enjoy the ride and pay attention. And again, drivers, that radio station change or your kids, all of it can wait by just pulling over. So it's kind of my message for the day.
No, Laurie, you bring up some great points. I'm just going to elaborate on that. Is like when you talk about mechanical, how many guys on their bikes or ladies, before you even get on your bike, do a bike inspection of it. Most of us park our bikes in our garage, right? How many times are you doing other work in your garage? You drop some screws, right? Do we check our tires for any screws that's going to possibly end up with a blowout on the road? Are we looking under our bike to see if something is leaking? If maybe
everything's tightened, everything.
Yeah.
Many of us have gotten.
Glenn could even tell you that air pressure in your tires is one of the leading reasons for the wobble that you get and things like that. It's really amazing how many of us don't check our air pressure before we ride, and it's really, really important, especially when you're changing seasons. It could be in Colorado, it could be super cold, and but I can still ride, and then all of a sudden it's 70, 80 degrees, and so you've got to really check your tire pressure.
That's very true, especially when you're going up Highway 550 through Durango and up that way. If you're coming from New Mexico up into Colorado, you're gonna have 5,000 feet of elevation change.
The elevation change,
and so therefore your temperature is going to change. And so you got all these different adjustments. So my rule of thumb has always been, hey, if you're changing you're putting your jacket on, check your tires too, right? So
not a bad idea.
Just know that, and just have a little punch list or something, or a mental reminder, a sticky note or whatever, a sticker, or something that'll flash a memory thing to remind to check that, because that is the most common maintenance issue that is preventable.
Complacency kills, and we can't take it back. Once that issue happens, and we're on the downhill slide, we can't say, shit, I should have checked. We don't want to have to say, well, I should have, or I was going to. Let's take that extra 5 minutes and check the bike before we get on there. Same with the drivers, man. That was a powerful message to everybody that's engaged in it. You know, the motorcycles are smaller, so they're deceiving. The perception is different. So
Absolutely.
just be careful.
I think there's so much more that we can take videos that we have. I mean, it's horrible to post the videos of the crashes and the bad aspect of an accident, but that's something that you can play for any child, teenager, friend. You know, it's relative. It kind of captures you in, and then, you know, at the end, it really, where he's got to face the fact that, you know, this is going to happen, and the remorse that the kid feels. You know, I tell everybody, you know, when I was 16, I could drive my car with my knee, smoke a cigarette, eat a cheeseburger, but there wasn't that kind of people.
And shift.
number-
And shift with
Yeah,
your
I
elbow.
can do it all, you know. I was styling. And, you know, there's just too many cars on the road now. There's just too much traffic and congestion and, you know, impulse control and people not, you know, always being in a high. I was the other day going down the road and I missed my turn. And I could have done an illegal U-turn. And I thought to myself, you know, just make a left. Just make a left and then go down and turn around. What is the urgency for me to get to storage that I have to commit an illegal U-turn? It, you know, and as Glenn was saying about a sticky note, my theory is, before you throw a leg over, have a checklist of what you need to do.
Absolutely.
You know, your
Yeah.
towing, your insurance, knowing what you have for insurance, and obviously the maintenance that goes with it and stuff, especially if you're going to be carrying passengers on the back.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't check that kind of stuff, you know, you're really, I don't want to say setting yourself up, but you're just going to end. Motorcycle riding is a beautiful thing. And unfortunately, these are no longer accidents. You know, I think if you're driving distracted, that is not an accident, that is a crash. And that's negligible. And that, you know, you did not do what you were supposed to do behind that car. So the other point I wanted to point out to you guys is, because May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, I have decided here in Las Vegas, yes, I'm back in Las Vegas after Arizona Bike Week.
In the world is
Yeah.
Laurie,
We're just gonna say
Montoya?
where is
San
where is
Diego.
Waldo? Where is Laurie now?
Yeah. This is Laurie Montoya live from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I'm heading back to Colorado after this weekend. As you can see, I'm in my toy hauler, but I forgot we're saying. Oh, but we're implementing a motorcycle helmet giveaway in Las Vegas and in our Colorado, where we have a sponsor. And every week we're going to be giving away a motorcycle helmet or a voucher towards a motorcycle helmet. It's something that I feel is vitally important. It's one of the number one things that will save your life. And sometimes if we want to work with people that will size you properly, get the right helmet that you need for your riding skill, meaning, do you do long roads and you need the communicator or the Cena? Do you need the brake-free LED taillight? I'm going to contact Brake-Free and see if I can get them to donate a few for our giveaway. We just want to get out that May is Motorcycle Awareness Month. Please watch for us. So something
I definitely dig that brake-free helmet, man.
A lot of people like that. A lot of girls like that.
Yeah.
Brake-free helmet's really, really nice.
Well, it's a tail light that goes on your helmet. So you got to be wearing the helmet so that that's useful to you. But something that we want to incorporate in a lot of additional chapter states. I just think it's a great way for us to community partner with dealerships that sell helmets that will properly fit you. So I will post that link with you guys.
Getting a comment right now, Cynthia.
That's who I was just saying.
Yeah.
You saying that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we were just talking about her.
Hi,
Cynthia.
Yeah, she's got one of the brake-free helmets and she loves hers, man. Who's Cynthia?
She's a Betty.
She's a Betty. One of the battling Bettys.
And
Got a
she,
brake
yeah,
helmet.
she's an Indian rider.
All right.
Yeah, it really is, especially when he was kind of talking about in that video, when he was talking about how small the taillight is and how it's always on, you know, and in the daylight. So if you have that brake-free taillight on your helmet that's not on, and then all of a sudden it lights up when you stop, you know, could be the difference between, you know, getting crashed into or not. So I just doing everything we can to keep riders safe and keep people safe, and just do our mission of helping injured motorcycle riders where we can.
Well,
thank you, Laurie.
Yeah,
I got two things I want to add just really quick, really fast. Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, so to add some science and some information to what Laurie's talking about with distracted driving, there's a University of Utah study that was done quite some time ago out there comparing the negligence, the time involved with people who were killed in motor vehicle crashes or motorcycle crashes, and they're comparing their brainwave studies due to data downloads from the ECM modules of these vehicles and the phones and the texting. And the correlation was when someone is texting and driving, the level of distraction is more than being 0.24 level of intoxication.
Wow.
Okay. The amount of time, the amount of distraction correlates scientifically in terms of this time, the distance, the movements, all that kind of stuff. So basically, texting and driving is being drunk and driving.
It's
You pulled over like, at least I wasn't texting.
And it's a proven science. You can look it up on Google. University of Utah study about it. It's there, and there's multiple other studies. That's like from 10 years ago, but it's improved now. The other thing is, if you ever have to have look at this situation, most new motorcycles and new cars have ECM modules. They're very easy to download the data if you need to get it. But the most important thing I want to say is this. And this is really passion project. There is no correlation between the amount of time on a Bluetooth phone call to being distracted. What I mean is a lot of people, it'll be a quick call. I'll just answer it, right? Well, we've had long calls before on Bluetooth. We've all done it, most of us, and it's fine. Everything's fine. Or you get that one call, somebody's in the hospital. Somebody, you're having a problem.
Dog got out.
Yeah, the dog got out. That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's a reaction, and then you look up and you miss your exit, and you're distracted. You're immediately distracted. So, man, what is the principle of being on the road, rubber meets the road, getting out in the fresh air and riding a motorcycle and having fun? Put your phone up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh,
And,
I get mad when we were on the
you know
bike.
what I'm
I'm
saying?
like,
What's the point of it, right? Now, look, if it's your primary mode of transportation, you do your own way. I'm just giving you the information, and it's something I'm passionate about because you're either distracted on the phone or Bluetooth or you're not, okay? There's safety standards that show that being on the phone and talking, there's no it'll be a short call. I do it all the time in my cases. They always make excuses. Oh, well, it wouldn't be a short. It was, I'm sorry. No, you had a conscious choice to pick that phone call up. Don't do it. Put it down and stay attention and enjoy your motorcycle.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to do all I can. I really loved your previous segment about things that people can do, and they really just don't realize. I mean, we all get on that motorcycle and we want to have fun, and I cannot tell you how many times I tell a family that it wasn't the motorcycle's fault. It was a distracted driver or someone that was being negligent or someone that just feels way too entitled. But, it happens in the driving world too. I mean, there's distracted driving is killing drivers and pedestrians and stuff. So we just really hope that everyone will share that video. I can put the link on there. You can get it off our YouTube channel. And, just ride safe out there. And just remember, if you do need any help, please go to bikerdown.org, fill out a help request. I will call you personally, and we'll do all that we can to keep you safe.
Well, thank you, Laurie. Appreciate it.
Have safe, next week, live from Colorado.
Safe travels back to Colorado. See you next week.
God bless.
God bless. Take care. Laurie Montoya with Biker Down, live from Las Vegas, heading back to Colorado. We're going to take a quick break. Hear from our sponsor and maybe a little Blues magazine, and then we'll be back with Biker Fitness to stay fit.
What we believe in at Glenn Larson Law is doing one thing and doing it really well. When I meet people, I always tell them we're going to uncover every single rock possible. That's the medical component, that's your story and your voice.
We're solely focused on personal injury, whether that be a slip and fall accident or a commercial 18-wheeler, a motorcycle or DWI, motor vehicle accident. We specialize in that and that only.
When someone says, my neck really hurts, I know exactly how that feels. There's so much more to an injury case dealing with the pain level that people go through and how it affects their lives. And I know how to advocate to make sure that the insurance companies take all of that in consideration in every case.
We're very transparent and open to always keep them informed and stay on top of their case at all times.
Because we're a little bit smaller in team numbers, we're able to really dive into every single case and develop not only a client relationship, but a friendship and a lifelong connection.
We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll meet you anywhere, at the scene, in the hospital, at your home. Whatever's best for the client, we will do every single time.
There is a connection component that I believe our firm is committed to. We want to be connected with you and your family beyond this case so that you know that you have a lifelong partner, not just a case, but a lifelong connection and a lifelong voice. And we look forward to serving you.
Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, man, brought to you by Glenn Lawson Law, Accident Injury Attorneys, and the Biker Wolf Pack.
Oh!
You just get a kick out of when we do that, do you?
I do a little bit.
You just like howling.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm here for, the comic relief.
Today's been so far amazing, talking about some great events for charity, for our veterans, our first responders, talking about some biker safety with Laurie, Montoya, and Glenn, talking about how to protect yourself. But one thing that Laurie did talk about those long rides was fatigue. And staying physically fit is very important in motorcycle riding. And we started that 6-week challenge. And I want to welcome Flex, who does our biker fitness, man. And we started our 6-week challenge. So, Flex.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me. Couple of things I want to start off with was today's segment's going to be a little different. We're going to get to talk about Sideshow here. But before we do that,
mine's coming too, so I'm not really. I can't make too much fun.
He's got a file on me.
Oh, I got a file. And we're going to get to the nitty gritty. But first, since the show's been going, I've got some good feedback. I wanted to send a shout out to Hector and Gunner. Been very, very consistent about watching the show. Give me feedback on a regular. Love it. Also, one of the young ladies that we trained to help her with quals getting into the police academy.
Oh, nice.
Hannah Rios called me about 3:30 this morning. Got her first high-speed chase at 140 miles per hour.
Oh,
she was very nervous, but she handled business. And the only thing she was worried about is she showed me a picture on her cop car. She was on E after it was all done. She was worried about gas. So, Hannah, good job, girl. I'm proud of you.
Just goes to show what our law enforcement go through on a daily basis, man. 140 miles an hour in a police chase is no joke.
It is not.
That's a very dangerous situation.
But I'm very proud of Hannah. She came to me. She was 107 pounds. She was going through the academy. We had to work on,
that's like my left thigh.
Power.
Yeah,
You're right.
Good gosh.
But I tell you, when we started working together, she had nothing but grit. She her eating was right. She was consistent, and the great thing is what started as some trouble. She when she graduated, she got most improved recruit or most
Best in show.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how I relate it.
Grand champion right there. So I wanted to, she called me this morning. That was fresh. So I wanted to give a shout out. That was great.
Oh yeah.
So today's segment was more. We talk about biker fitness, wellness. Well, we got a gentleman right here that he likes this biker right here that likes to.
I'm still in
to
pain.
ride just a little bit right there. Are you still in pain from the workout?
No.
Can you sit down on the toilet okay yet?
Are you toilet sore?
Actually, with all the friggin' lunges and crunch,
That was just the warm up. I'm just letting y'all know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm terrified.
my legs were okay. It was the chest and the shoulders that were really bothering me. But before I even start, I want to tell you, you were extremely professional. When I came in there, I thought it was, truthfully, because me and you were friends,
Sure.
and I thought it was going to be like, all right, two guys just working out.
No, he's like,
When I went to Anytime Fitness, and from the moment I walked into the gym, that whole staff is amazing.
Yeah, they are.
The whole staff is amazing. Even the people that were working out were so helpful. They were like, "Hey, do you need something?" Even the clients that were there it was nobody that was just like standoffish. Everybody was kind of, it was like a family workout.
Yes, sir.
It was like a family workout. So I walked in, I felt extremely comfortable. I was immediately greeted. You weren't there yet. They showed me around the gym. And then when you came in, I thought we were just going to start doing this workout, but no, it was an interview of like sitting one-on-one with a doctor and went over all these questions, and it was very professional, and I'm glad I went through it with you, man.
Still terrified.
I'm too. And you're absolutely right. A lot of people,
I don't know
they're scared of what that is. I mean, how many times we know that there's an issue, but we put off going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. You're going to be uncomfortable. I love the machinery that we have.
Back in a little bit.
All right, my bad. I love the tools that we have, because when you do come in, it is a full assessment. We get to understand also, from the nutritional standpoint, where your water, proteins are, from visceral fat. It's amazing because we get time to know what your goals are, but we get to know what's going on inside and out.
Yeah.
And really getting to know who you are, what goals were, not for the show, not for a 6-week challenge. You ride bikes on a regular basis. And my thing is I want to help the masses that either A, you're overweight, B, you eat shitty, 2, you're serious about your riding, but how can we get better? And I want to show through this gentleman right here that after
dad bod of lard,
right. But after we did the measurements and everything, after about 6
I was going to say dad bods are hot.
But some of the questions, I mean, let's, so nobody gets worried. The questions that you were asking me weren't evasive or anything, but they were just, you had to be truly honest with yourself, and he gives you a 100% assessment. So like some of the questions you asked me medically, certain things to make sure.
The folder, he opened up the folder.
Well, certain medical questions, because want to make sure what your limitations are, what your capabilities are. If you have heart issues, if you have shoulder issues, surgeries, stuff like that. So be prepared to answer some of those medical questions, because he doesn't want to hurt you.
Be honest with it, because that way we know how to maneuver, modify to get good results, but not hurt any existing injuries, knees, lower back, shoulders. We get all of that.
I'm bionic.
You are?
I got titanium up my spine.
Do you?
I do.
How's that feel?
Chilly.
It's okay. I mean, I can tell like when I'm not working out, I get more issues.
Can you tell between the temperature changes, cold and hot?
Rain.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Achy. Yeah.
I got you. Well, John,
they insert.
I'm sorry.
Just didn't know which way they inserted that.
Now I'm gonna
through
put
the back.
I'm gonna put all sideshows business out there.
That's fine.
Okay. So we do it when you come out. We do a PAR-Q, obviously for the medical release, and also kind of know what injuries, what limitations you have. Then we put you under an EVOLT scan, and what I love about this is it goes internally. We talk about lean body to body fat mass to protein to water that you're holding, body fat percentage to your visceral fat. So when I looked at Sideshow, we had a weight of 251 pounds.
Coming in strong.
Now the great thing is his bio age matched exactly who he
It wasn't 65.
It wasn't 65 under the 58.
You are what you are.
You are what you are. You're 58 all day, every day.
So to do the body scan, you just disrobe in front of
Wait.
Yeah, that's it. You're in front of the gym. You full Monty, and then we hook you up to some electrode shots through the body.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. The body scan is not evasive or anything. It's 2 handles that you hold. You stand on a plate on your bare feet, because your feet really read everything, right? Everything, all the toxins, everything that's you have is going to be read outside your feet. You hold these scans, and I don't know how that reads it, but it's not like a circle scan. It's just body scans, right?
And I want to say that Pitbull is laughing over there. She's next.
I know, I'm terrified.
I hope that you talk as much crap on this show, because when we get you on here, you're on the hot seat, girl. Come on, talk shit.
I already know. That's why I'm terrified. That's
We'll
why
see
I'm
what your
talking
bio
more
age
shit.
is. We'll see what your bio age is.
This is not a sunburn. This is like, like flustered.
So for my people out there,
Jenny Rizzo from Motorcycle Mayhem. Thank God this guy is not on my fat ass show.
You're next.
Johnny, you're next.
You're
Johnny, you're next.
We're shipping him over there.
I will be calling you after the show. All right. So what we have, we're going to put him out there. So we had a weight of 251. I believe we had a goal of 220. Is that
220.
Right, John?
Yep.
And what was amazing to me is the body fat percentage.
Well, when we first started about body fat, I was like, listen, I'm not looking at like 4% or 5%. I don't want to. I said, let's get down to about a 15. You even said it. Let's do about a 15 to 20% body fat. And then what do we come up with?
Well, you were a little above that at 23.6%, which I was still proud of that.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Sounds like you're on goal.
Now, the couple things to look at is your lean body mass was 192 pounds and your body fat mass was 59.3 pounds. A little high, but these are just starting numbers. Protein, we want somewhere between 24 and 29. We were at about 39%. And then your water weight, you're holding about 138 pounds of water.
Wow.
So with what that tells me right there,
That's
and
a
what
lot
the
of
body
beer water,
fat
huh?
we can work on the nutrition.
All right. So what makes you retain water? Lots of sodium, right?
A lot of sodium,
salt,
imbalance,
a lot of processed
electrolytes.
foods. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Beer.
And are you doing a lot of that?
No, truthfully, I do not eat a lot of. I don't drink a lot of sodas. Not a lot of. I'm not a big sugar eater. But I do eat some pastas, some breads.
Well,
so
you are such a stereotype. I'm from New York. I eat a lot of pasta.
But the great thing is there's two things. One, it's all about moderation. But my thing is those are good foods to eat. But when's the best time to eat them? Now I will say this: if you're having those for dinner time, guys, make sure that you ingest the last bit of your food about 3 hours before you go to bed. Reason being is because when you go to bed, your metabolism fires up and all that blood's redirected to what it needs from protein synthesis and everything else. So it goes away from the stomach. So whatever you had in your stomach overnight, with that processing, it's going to sit there and sour on you.
See, that's the problem. Like I work late, or I got to cook for my father-in-law late. So I'll eat it. Have dinner ready at 7. I'll eat 7:30.
You gotta stay up 3 hours.
Then I gotta wait. I gotta be up at 4 a.m. So I'm in bed by 8:30. So probably an hour after I eat dinner, I'm already in bed.
Okay. So then how we combat that is we know we need to figure out what our daily caloric intake is. The machine's great, but if you want to kind of eyeball it, 11 times your weight. That will give you a good estimate or guesstimate on what your daily caloric intake is. If you want to lose weight, take 500 pounds off that. If you're trying to build muscle and gain weight, add 500 pounds to that. Or I'm sorry, 500 calories. Add 500 pounds. Yeah, 500 calories.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah, 500.
Pounds. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Let me just give a big shout out to Mark over in Canada, Moto Mark. He's an amazing artist. Going to be on the High Seas Rally this year. Raised a lot of money through all his artwork. Check out Moto Mark's artwork. He does a lot of veteran, first responder. A lot of great pieces. So check out him and support him because he does give back to a lot of foundations and organizations.
What's up with Johnny?
Mark.
I want to know what Johnny Rizzo's saying hell no to. What's he got going on over there? Johnny, we need to know more about this, buddy.
Yeah.
What's hell no to?
Yeah.
Johnny, well, it's probably about the pasta because Johnny's all about pasta, pizza, and
Johnny Steaks
and Pringles.
Steaks.
Johnny likes the carb load.
He likes the carb load. Johnny does.
He's on a keto carb.
Now coming back, it did show what your basal metabolic rate is, meaning if you were to lay in bed all day and not do a damn thing, how many calories your body would need to maintain exactly where
That's what I want to know. I want to know how many days I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, you are not allowed to do that at all. Okay. You're under the microscope for the next 6 weeks.
You're on the chopping block.
But what if I had enough in my bank of like, okay, I worked really hard this day, then I get one full day of like doing nothing.
You know, and that's great. And you
That's
know
what
what?
I want.
And it brings me to something that I heard one time, and I love it.
You're gonna
It's
hit
like,
me
hey,
with something.
doctor,
Every
you
day.
just diagnosed me with cancer. Please cure me as slowly as possible.
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
a dick.
I know. It's
Every day.
so if you weren't laying around all day and doing something
really
because
don't.
you're
I
going to
don't have
have
time
it,
for that,
you're going to
actually.
use a restroom, you're going to go work, gym, whatever. What it's saying for him is he needs 3,466 calories a day to maintain that fabulous dad bod. Now, if he wanted to make some changes, we talked on the previous show that there's about 3,500 calories in a pound of fat.
Right.
So if we were to take
that was that thing that he brought.
the big old fat you were
big old
slapping him
fat
with?
thing.
You kept playing with.
Oh yeah,
Vibrator.
it was a fatty. Okay.
Vibrates.
What did we just walk into?
Oh, yeah.
What did
You
we
missed
just
it.
walk into?
I pulled out a pound of
I
fat
know.
on the
I
show,
know.
And you got Pitbull over here slapping him like it's a dildo. And I was like, what the?
He liked it.
He did. He did.
a
He told me
little,
after
a
the
little.
show it was amazing. So with this, your total
Extra fee.
expenditures, what we need to work on to make sure that we don't have that excess skin, that the body's bouncing back right and the skin recovers. Typically, you can take anywhere from 500 to 1,000 calories
Off
of that.
that.
So you could really be about 2,400 calories, and really looking to lose about 2 pounds of fat a week.
Wow.
And
So when they say what are you supposed to intake for nutrition level? Is it like 2,000? I mean, is that like the?
Depending on your
it's a slide. Now, it's different. Like I said, there's different formulas out there, but if you will take 11 times your weight,
Right.
that will be on average what your daily calories need to
Already
be.
got mine.
Oh, she's pulling up her calculator.
I did. I really
Okay,
did.
where we at, girl?
For me,
Yeah. Are we okay? First off, are we trying to lose weight or are we trying to build muscle? What are you looking at? Because you got to take 500 off or 500 on.
a little bit of both, right? I
Okay.
want to lose some weight, gain some muscle mass, tone
Okay.
up a little
So
bit.
where are we at on our numbers?
1870.
Love it. Love it. And if you were trying to thin out a little bit, taking 500 calories off of that.
So it's a 1,200 calories.
Mhm.
I'm at 19.
But you know what's amazing though is it only takes on average about 9 days to shrink your stomach. So if you focus on your moderate, your portion size, but after that 9 days, and your meals are about 400 or 500, and you're eating, every 3 hours or so.
Are we going to be able to include the beer in this?
Yes, but you have to include the calories that come with it.
Right.
Because typically
That's why my meals are small and my beers are big.
Okay, well, keep in mind.
I am good at math.
Okay, well, if you're good at math, it's almost three times the calories to protein and carbs with alcohol.
So I'm not going to eat the rest of the day.
You got to switch to light beer.
We had a few beers before we came here today.
So you got to switch to light beer.
It is light beer.
Beer. I'd rather have a craft beer that's like 250 calories, but I'm doing the 99 craft beer with a lime in it.
Well,
Yeah.
or like the margaritas.
I was just getting ready to say,
Liquor
or
is
the
probably less than
margarita.
Oh, well,
Yes.
there's still half a beer in there, though.
Well, liquor is less than calories than beer, so just drink
But
liquor.
there's the
But you also got to be careful about the mixture that you put in.
so
if you put your Coke,
it's
Dr. Pepper.
vodka water is what you're telling me.
Huh?
It's vodka and water is what
Is
you're
that
telling
what you
me.
like to drink?
I will
No.
drink.
I'm
what
not
I
telling
am
you
allowed
anything.
to.
Well, the
I learned a
champagne that
long
we drank
time ago,
yesterday.
I'm not telling a woman anything. I will make suggestions.
Just don't tell me no.
Uh.
Oh, whoa. Your wife's going to call me. Just kidding.
All right, so
I already gave her your number.
back to my report card. Back to my report card.
Wow.
So what we're looking at is as we start this 6-week challenge, which we're gonna head up on Monday. All right. We're gonna have several sessions a week. You're gonna be coached. We're gonna have a meal plan. We're also gonna be tracking it with your assessment every couple of weeks. But my goal is to make this more of a lifestyle for you. I understand that you want to get to 220. On average, if you think about it, if you're losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, you do the math if you're trying to lose 30 pounds.
Right.
And let's be realistic. Let's just say it's a pound a week. That could be 30 weeks right there. You didn't put this weight on overnight.
Right.
You worked to get it here. Well, it's going to take a little bit of time to get off.
Right.
And in this situation, it's not a race, it's a marathon. Enjoy the journey because it needs to be a lifestyle for it to stick. If you think, oh man, I got to go to the gym 2-3 times a week, you don't have a plan or you don't have a vision or goals or what you're trying to achieve, then a lot of times you lose consistency because you don't know where you're going. You get stagnant, or the soreness. You do your first set of legs and you get toilet sore and you don't want to go back to the gym.
Right. Well, like I said, I was not toilet sore. I was more. I couldn't eat my oatmeal sore. Couldn't lift my arms.
But also with the training process, you saw some things that you could fix on your form.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep. Well, when we were doing the squats,
Mm-hmm.
all right. And one thing I enjoyed about the gym was you didn't make me just throw a bar on my shoulder and where I'm going to be off balance. The machines, the ropes, everything kept me stable, pretty much. The only thing I was a little on that the lunges. Whew, that was
starting there, but on the way back, you were great.
On the way back, yeah, but they were.
I'm not good with balance stuff.
But
See,
but
okay.
Actually, it really like what, because I haven't done lunges in decades. So when I started doing the lunges, going across the mat, I was a little wobbly.
The only time I've done a lunge was I missed the curve.
But coming back, you're right. I was a little bit better. But he was showing me different form, which was, I see how I can hurt you. You can end up getting hurt at the gym if you're not watching what you do, and if somebody's not showing you the proper way to do it. Because when we were doing the deep bends, we were like duck butt and come on up, and I was like, you can definitely feel the difference in the muscle area that you're trying to work out. Because I was using like all my back, and I was like, oh, this is killing my back. And then just tweaking it a little bit, it just brought all that shifted it right to the back of my quads and stuff. So
his groin.
It's my.
I'm not even a gym person, so the fact that you are going and you're staying dedicated is unbelievable. Because it'd be hard to get me in a gym because I just don't
go. I just can't.
But he made it easy. He really did. He made it so much easier.
Yeah.
This is the thing is, a lot of times when people are trying to hit their fitness goals, they're like, man, if I'm going to do this, I got to be in the gym 6-7 days a week. I got to do this.
Yeah, no, that won't be me.
Well, my thing is this is when people are starting out, because you're trying to learn new habits, we typically work with about 2 or 3 days a week. And my thing is, if I can show you how to get in and get out of the gym 30, 35 minutes, 2-3 times a week, where you got that executive or that single mom, like, I got other shit to do. The crazy thing is I want to teach you how to fish. A lot of trainers here do what I say, but and after a year, you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
No, I want to show you what, the exercises that are right for your body, the right things to rev your metabolism and the right fuel to put in your body. If I can do that and hold you accountable, our results are amazing. If I can get you in the gym 2-3 times a week for 30 minutes, you're on Facebook 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So my thing is if you
watching cat videos,
and I'll say it again, if you don't do something about it now, you're going to pay for it later.
See, that's where I'm at. I was like super into fitness, like growing up. Like I used to teach rock climbing at summer camp. I mean, I was into like being out there and active all the time. Just life kind of got ahead of me. And then next thing I knew, it's been, my son's like 9. It's been almost 9 years since I've been in a gym. And I'm going, oh my God. Like, luckily I've been able to kind of maintain in a diet way, but I definitely feel the energy levels down. And I'm 42 years old. It's only going to get worse if I don't do anything now. So that's what's scaring me.
And
like, I want to get in there and get back.
And what's great is, I mean, you look good.
Thank
you. But the thing is sometimes it's not about reshaping the body, but sometimes it's about the endurance and stamina to get that energy to last you throughout the day. There's workouts, there's things designed to rev that metabolism, allow you to do that and still keep the body that you have.
Get the lifestyle back a little bit. Feel good about when you wake up and not go, oh.
Like, and I know, ladies, if you get the mid, and ladies, if you tone the midsection, you don't have lunch lady arms, no saddlebags, and you lift the butt, you're not going to be mad at me, right?
Right.
No.
No, okay.
I really don't care.
Not my first
You're
rodeo.
going to build me a butt, damn it.
Well, with those squats, you're going to have a butt in no time.
He's
I'll tell
building
you.
me a butt. That's all I want. Because I can't.
I'm
not paying for the butt. I already paid for the tits.
All right. So her goal in the next 6-week challenge, we're focusing on the butt.
Yes.
Yeah. So are we opening this up to everybody?
The great
How are we
thing,
gonna open this up?
and so many people ask me about the show. They're like, well, is it for everybody? Is it just for bikers? Wellness, fitness, nutrition. Yes, I want to focus on my brothers out there on the road. How are they safer? How can they get the best ride where they're not hurting afterwards and they can, pay attention and be alert on the road, especially if they, got the woman on the back. What I'm teaching is, and what I'm trying to give away is there is tips on nutrition where you understand the right fuel to fuel your body. What's the minimum? Because a lot of times people have life, as y'all said, that get in the way. What's the minimum time that we can be in the gym to get the maximum results, where I can hit my goals and go about my day.
Mhm.
If you want to learn that, that's what this is about. And that's why I say call in. Let's talk about it. If you're frustrated, you don't want to pay for a trainer, you want to know tips of the trade, you want to work out, you want some nutrition advice, that's what we're here for. And my thing is if this is a love and this is a passion, and to me, this is a nonprofit organization, obviously, because I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Pick the brain, and we're going to be doing things where not only are you going to get some education, but you're also going to be able to see the results for people that want to do something for their body. And you might feel the same way. You got the dad bod. You feel like the energy levels are not there, hanging out with the
coming
kids.
in as not a nutrition buff right now. Like I am eating to survive after I feed my kid and feed senior and everybody. Like it's like scraps and mac and cheese and stuff. So like I definitely, I'm aware. Like I know, like don't eat too much of the fried stuff. Like eat a salad. Like I love salad, but like you get off track real easy. It's been 2 pizzas this week. Like you get off track.
Especially when you got the
easy.
kids at home. When you got the 9-year-old home, and he's not. You're not cooking.
He eats half his meal, and I'm like, ooh.
But you're not cooking salmon for him, or
he actually likes that
really?
stuff. So I do. Yeah, we do cook. I actually am a good cook.
No, I'm saying because most kids, you end up cooking for the kids, and they're not going to eat the healthy crap. They're not, so you end up eating whatever you
do. It's quick.
Yeah,
that's quick, what messes me up. Is you do it's quick because everybody's tired and everybody wants something at different times. And you're just like,
So my question to you is this: is if you knew what kind of grain, i.e., a brown rice, quinoa, couscous, whatever, you got your grain situated, and then you got your protein situated, and you knew what your greens that you were serving on that'll cover all your macronutrients. So why would your kids or why would the family turn their nose up at something if, hey, it's the protein they like, it's the greens they'll tolerate, and it's the grain that goes well with anything, and they don't like the greens, they can mix it with the grain. I'm just saying. But
no, I get you. I feel like that is also a struggle at the house, because I feel like sometimes I am cooking 4 different meals, because I got something that's like old timer, you got like your basic foods, and then I got my husband who's like meat and potatoes. I want, then I got the kid, the chicken tenders and mac and cheese, and I'm like, I just want a damn salad and some vegetables.
So you're picking off everybody's plate,
I take the lettuce off his burger, the pickle off his sandwich, and then I make my meal off the scraps, basically.
But and what I was looking at is, and exactly what you just said about meal plans. It's proper planning prevents poor performance, right? So if you plan out your meals throughout the week, right? You know what you're going to cook, and this way you're not scrambling at the end of the day. You're not scrambling at the end of the day. So, like because I do it every morning when
I'm sorry. On the 6-week challenge, you sit down with my nutritionist and you get a meal plan. Guess what? That can actually duplicate to the family. So problem solved.
There you go.
I don't think he's gonna let you get away with anything.
Face, y'all.
Yeah, he's not gonna let you get away with anything.
No, I'm like.
Now I will say the one thing that scares me at looking at charts like this all day every day is the visceral fat. That's not your belly fat. That's fat that can stick to your major organs. It can be a silent killer. It can take 10 years off your life, and it's all about the nutrition side.
Right.
I know that you've been tightening up on that. We're going to see these numbers go down, but right now it's 118. It's about 18 points over range, which is 50 to 100. That's the one thing that I'm going to be looking at, because if those numbers are going down, then I know your protein in your water is going down and your body fat's going down. Okay.
So the best way to get rid of that visceral fat is proper nutrition.
Yes, sir. More, solid macronutrients. Stay away from the processed foods, the sugars, zuzu, wham-whams, all that good stuff. All right. The ones that we love.
Zuzus and wham-whams.
We do too. Now here, ladies, I got you. All right. If you want to eat your
Zuzus and wham-whams,
Zuzus and wham-whams, there's 2 times to eat it. All right. Now your body cannot burn and store at the same time. So in the morning time, when you're breaking a fast, your body's been fasting for however long you sleep. Right then and there, if you wanted something that wasn't the most nutritious, a calorie is still a calorie at that point in time. Now, another time is after a strenuous workout. If you wanted to be a little more lackadaisical and eat that fun food, great. My thing is, if you're going to have your cheat meal, do it on a day you work out. Don't just cheat the whole damn day off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's even laughing over there. I know.
As he eats his taco casa. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's protein.
Wrapped in goodness.
All right, so we're gonna start on Monday.
Yes, we are.
Monday. We'll get into Pitbull's.
I bought new shoes.
Did you
I
really?
did. I finally got. I realized when I had
What
to
kind
get
of shoes you
dressed.
get?
I'll have to show you. I don't know enough out of my $150 pair of shoes. It's
Did you
like
get it
fancy.
on the
The
clouds?
fancy
OCs?
shoes for working out.
Yes.
Yes.
I have not had a pair of tennis
That
shoes.
is a motivating
I'm not
factor
gonna
for
lie.
a lot. You believe?
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I didn't realize until I was getting ready to go the other day and realized the traffic was too. And I was like, I don't have a really good pair of tennis shoes, which told me how long it has been since I've done anything really active.
But people getting back
The only
into
pair I had was from Temu.
getting back into the gym or trying to change your fitness. It's amazing what a new pair of shoes or a new workout outfit
now I
will
wanna
do
go out
for
and be
you.
like-
Give you some motivation.
Absolutely.
Right. Sorry, I just kicked
All
you.
right, well, hold on, wait. We're going to come back to this because I got to get Mongo on. Speaking about the gym, all right.
Talk about how fast my shoes make
We'll
me
finish
look.
this up after the Mongo log. We'll recap with it. But speaking about the gym, here's a guy who goes to the gym every single day. And today I busted his balls. He was in the car just getting out of the gym with a big old cigar in his mouth, and I was wondering if he worked out with it. But let's bring on the Mongo log and hear about his gym workout and his political news.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
What's
You know,
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
I almost feel out of place because this whole show is about bikers, biker awareness, biker fitness, and I'm the kid in metal shop class that's making paper airplanes and proud of my work.
Well, we were talking about aviation earlier. So
We
get
were.
right in there.
So, well, and this monologue is totally off all those subjects. So here we go. University.
Wait. Before you start, Mongo,
Yes.
what? Because you do hit the gym pretty much every day,
Have
right?
you seen his
Almost every day except Sunday, unless I have to go to the doctor on another day. But yeah, every day of the week.
Now I know you have some metal in you as well, right?
Some metal that the doctors have put into me and some metal that the assholes have put into me. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Pitbull has that same thing. How do you feel that does that impede your workout, or do you have to readjust for different workouts?
I've only had to adjust a few things because I have some limited, not necessarily mobility, but some pain associated with one of my shoulders, which is totally replaced. I had that done 2 years ago. It's never come back. I've got people going, I was playing golf 4 months after my shoulder replacement. Well, shit, I never played golf in my life and I still can't play, but my shoulder feels like shit. But for the most part, I can do almost not as much bench pressing anymore because I can't get in that position. It hurts my body, but I can bench press on a Smith machine. So I've made adjustments to my workouts. Obviously, I'm not what I was once before, but I'm trying my best to maintain what I have.
Gotcha. Hey, Mongo, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
After that shoulder surgery, and it's been about 2 years, you still feel it? You still have some pains in that shoulder?
Yes.
All right. Question for you: when you sleep, and I've had this issue before, are you a side sleeper?
No. Ever since my injuries, and about 21 years ago, I was shot twice and I was paralyzed from the neck down. Ever since then, I'm a back sleeper.
Okay.
And I usually put my my arm on a pillow just to get my shoulder in a good position where it's comfortable throughout the night.
Good deal. You bring up a good point, and I want to stress a lot of times people, they have active lifestyles, and then obviously you don't build when you're awake. It's when you sleep, and a lot of people sleep on their shoulders, and they work that shoulder out during the day, and then when it's healing, it's all wrapped up because you're sleeping on it, and then the next day you got to stretch that out, and over time people falsely think that they have shoulder problems and need shoulder surgery, when all reality, I can take a tennis ball, put on that side, wrap a string around you so you don't turn on that side, so you actually sleep on your back and their shoulder problems go away. So
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up, but I'm good you don't sleep on your shoulder, because that would definitely irritate it.
I always.
Yeah, no, I can rarely even lay on my shoulder for a few minutes just to pet my dog or talk to my wife, but I'm on my back.
You say slap your wife?
What do you do?
Pet the dog and slap his
What do you
leg.
do more, pet your dog or talk to your wife?
Oh,
Dog.
I pet one of them. I'm not sure.
All right, Mongo. Well, I appreciate sharing with us. You sharing those workout.
Hey, and I'm actually trying to keep up with you guys on the fitness challenge because my wife and I, 2 weeks ago, we bought the nutritional meals that come in the ice pack and you eat only their meals. It's kind of expensive, so we got off of it, but it actually reduced the amount of food that we take in every day. And my wife's really good about cooking good dinners. I have a good breakfast and a very small lunch. And our snacks throughout the day are we have a tray of vegetables and cut fruit out. So if we walk into the kitchen, we want to take a carrot stick, we'll grab a carrot stick or a cherry tomato, but we're not eating crap food anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it's a California lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, well, so they say.
Here in Texas, we put
Brisket, tacos.
Yeah. Mongo, are you on that Baja diet?
Where does bourbon fall into that nutritional look?
That's
Well,
for
a
breakfast.
condiment.
Yeah, that's for
Well,
breakfast.
Well, in
It's a
Texas,
condiment.
that's standard. In California, I think it's called a Baja diet.
All right, so here we go.
Let's get into the Mongo log.
All right, Universe 25. Cannibalism, asexuality, and a violent society that collapses. This sounds like a Mad Max plot line, but is actually the track that the human society is potentially attempting to chase. In 1972, John Calhoun detailed the specifications of a utopia designed for mice. It was built in a laboratory. Every aspect of his Universe 25, as this particular model was called, was designed to cater for the well-being of its rodent residents. It increased their lifespan and allowed them to mate. There was abundant food, water, and nesting material all readily provided. The universe was cleaned regularly. There were no predators. The environment was a stable paradise. 4 pairs of disease-free mice moved in on day 1. It took months for the rodents to familiarize themselves with their new world. Then they started to reproduce and the population increased exponentially, doubling every 55 days. Those were some good times in their rodent paradise. Safety and security, hanging out with your friends, free food, and free sex with all the women mice. On day 315, the mice population had exploded, rubbing shoulders on their way up and down their stairwell to freely eat, drink, and sleep. But over time, the population growth slowed. The young found themselves born into a world with far more mice than meaningful social roles. Males faced a lot of competitors to defend their territory against. Many found it so stressful that they gave up normal discourse. The community broke down, and with it, the ability of the mice to form social bonds. Grown females retreated to isolated nesting boxes on the penthouse levels. Some lone males, a group that was referred to as the beautiful ones, never sought sex and never fought. They just ate, slept, and groomed, wrapped in narcissistic introspection, much like 12. Elsewhere, cannibalism, asexuality, and violence became endemic. The mouse society had collapsed. On day 560, the population peaked at 2,200 mice. Few young mice survived past weaning. On day 600, after which there were few pregnancies and no surviving young, the population had stopped regenerating itself. Its path to extinction was inevitable. The mice lost the capacity to rebuild their numbers. Any that could still reproduce, such as the beautiful ones and their female counterparts, had lost the social ability to do so. Day 920 was the last conception. Apparently, 2 of the mice had one last poke for the road. The last mouse died on May 23, 1973, 4 years and 10 months after the initial colonization. It was said that the creatures had died 2 deaths. The first death was their spirit and their society. The second death was of their physical body. Calhoun had created utopian environments for rats and mice since the 1940s with consistent results. Overpopulation leads to explosive violence and hypersexual activity, followed by asexuality, self-destruction, and finally extinction. His research is widely cited paper concerning population density and social pathology. It was concluded that no matter how sophisticated we are, once the number of individuals capable of filling social roles greatly exceeds the number of such roles, only violence and disruption can follow. This dynamic is referred to as a phenomenon called behavioral sync. Our desire to be in the presence of others, and we are conditioned to seek and be near others and be drawn to the crowd in spite of the conflict that this can generate. Calhoun himself, however, was optimistic about our own future. He argued that as our physical space declines and we are forced to extend to conceptual space to network our ideas and technologies. I'm still a little confused as to how he drew this conclusion, from this experiment, but I'm no man. I'm just a simple man and not a research nerd. To my knowledge, mice are not very technically inclined with their ideas and values. For his part, there were many more components to his experiment that I'm not diving into in this report. Later in his career, he turned to possible solutions and began to build creative universe to minimize the effects of overcrowding. So, moving on. Bill Gates, who is my pick for potentially being the biggest douchebag currently alive, predicts that over the next decade, advances in artificial intelligence will mean that humans will no longer be needed for most things in the world. Gates explained that we will still rely on many fields, referring to human specialties. These include possibly a great teacher or a great doctor. However, with AI over the next decade, even that will become free through the internet. Commonplace great medical advice, great tutoring via internet and AI will decrease the need for humans to interact with another human at all. The world is entering a new era for free intelligence. The result will be rapid advances in AI powered by technologies that are readily accessible and will touch nearly every aspect of our lives, from improved medicines and diagnoses to widely available AI tutors and virtual assistants. AI is transforming society in profound ways, offering immense benefits and challenges. Its impact spans various sectors, enhancing productivity and driving innovations. However, ethical considerations must be addressed to ensure fair and responsible AI development. Balancing progress with privacy, fairness, and accountability is crucial. By navigating these challenges wisely, we can harness AI's potential for a better future. Embracing ethical AI will help create a more equitable and sustainable world. The singularity is not merely a technological concept. It represents a paradigm shift in how humanity approaches innovations that are currently in progress. A combination of teamwork between human skills and AI is crucial for better work productivity and improving jobs. People need to focus on areas where machines cannot replace their skills, like leadership. Being creative and understanding emotions are key. Merging human and artificial intelligence is the key to securing the top spot in changing world economy. The pressure on young people today to acquire education credentials has increased over recent decades. Many young people today are seeking to fulfill these expectations. Get that. Many young people today are seeking to fulfill those expectations. However, many have failed to find themselves. They are facing adult life with no or few formal qualifications. Let's face it, it's much easier to go to school, including college, and exert a minimal amount of effort, living in your parents' basement with a private ensuite bath, equipped with a TV, stereo, computer, and all the video games that you can possibly play online with your virtual friends, plus home-cooked meals, is much easier than venturing out into the real world. Unfortunately, many parents are willing to accept the excuse that it's tough out there while protecting their child and providing every comfort opportunity for them to just live at home. As most of you already know, life is tough. Many of us venture into the world with high hopes, but experience an initial failure. I know that in my case, I joined the Marine Corps at 17 with a high school diploma and the ambition to succeed. After my time in the military service, I had high hopes and plans to get a job in law enforcement. My applications were in, and I was in the hiring process with various agencies, but the process is a slow one. I was working 3 jobs and maintaining an apartment while waiting to be hired by any department. I was paying my bills, but I was also depleting my savings. I had acquired a silver dollar collection that I was actually down to spending my silver dollars just to get by. With $3 left to my name, I finally got a call from an agency informing me that I was to start the academy in a month's time. I was literally $3 away from returning to the Marine Corps for the remainder of my working career. Life can be a bitch, and you have to decide whether you want to face it, return home in defeat, and be a bum in your parents' house, or possibly adjust your expectations. I left home at 17 years old, but I never asked for a handout, and I never accepted one. Young people today, as well as adults, need to adapt. It's a sink or swim world, and you need to adjust according to the current situation and the changing technologies. The job market of tomorrow is not the same as the job market that most of us grew into, are even working in today. The future will require collaboration, foresight, and a commitment to navigating this fantastic era responsibly. By doing so, humanity can harness the potential of AI while mitigating its risks, shaping a future that reflects shared values and aspirations. Through careful planning and a collective effort, the promise of AI can be realized in ways that benefit one as an individual as well as a society. And that, my friends, is that. Whiskey improves with age, and I improve with whiskey. My name is Mongo. Whiskey goes in, wisdom comes out. I smoke cigars and I know things. Mongo is out, and now back to you in the studio. And now back to the studio.
You brought so many great points up. And the one thing I want to, when we talk about the job market, when we talk about kids just sitting on their parents' couch, that is happening more and more these days, where I remember kids would be out of their house at 17, 18 years old. Now they're in their late 20s, early 30s, and still living at home, and did you hear that Texas politician the other day who said, she was saying she's on one hand, she wants to keep all the immigrants here, but because nobody will take those farm jobs and we ain't going back out and picking cotton and we ain't doing this and we ain't doing these warehouse jobs, leave those for the immigrants. I'm just paraphrasing, but that's the message she was kind of giving out. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that particular quote, but I probably would have fell off my chair had I did it.
Yeah, that was one of the that's the same Texas Congresswoman who called our governor Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, no, she's a winner. Yeah, lovely lady.
Yeah, she talked about we're not going back to the farmers and we're not going to go back to picking cotton and everything else. You do what you have to do to survive. All right. If it's farming, if it's warehouse, if it's forklift, take pride in a job that you are capable of doing to make you survive and always thrive to move further up. But right now we got politicians that are saying to these kids that you're above that job when they really aren't. They don't have the education. They don't have the life experience. They have to earn it. And it's, once again, let's give everybody that participation trophy and make them a scholar when they're actually really not.
Being a parent's not easy. I mean, I raised my kids as a single parent, and both of my kids at one time in their lives decided it's time to move out. So they moved out, venturing. With my son, it was more of a fight, and he left. But at different times, they both came back and said, "Can we move back home?" And my answer was, "No, you may not.
Nope.
Sink or swim." And today they're doing great. My daughter's a successful teacher with a great family. My son's got a military career as a pilot with a family. They're doing great. Sometimes you just have to. It was tough. I mean, it hurt me to say no, but you have to sometimes make the tough decision for your kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tough love.
It is.
I ain't raising no pussies, what I used to tell my mom.
Yeah, you really have to. And as a parent, it's probably one of the toughest decisions you have to make. But if you raise them right throughout up to that point, if you raise them right, they will succeed. They will figure it out and they will move on. If you raise, like you said, if you raise a pussy all their life by giving them everything they want, they're going to fail. They're going to sink. Oh, yeah.
Kids can be spoiled, but given fair
love.
and firm. I mean, that's the thing about it,
But you got to earn it too.
But they do have to earn it.
I agree, but bottom line is raise your kids or you'll raise your grandkids.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's spot
That's
on,
why
man.
I always say too, because I only have a son. I only have to worry about one dick, not all the dicks.
Well, one could cause a lot of problems.
True, but so can a lot of dicks.
Well, Mongo, I do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much once again for an amazing Mongo log. Did you get your computer fixed? Did you retrieve all those things?
Yeah, no, I did, and I was actually I just kept messing around, and all of a sudden, like magic, it all reappeared. My wife said, "What'd you do?" I go, "I have no idea." I said, "But I'm not bitching about it."
Waited 30 seconds.
I was gonna say.
He texted me the other day. He goes, I don't know what I did, man. He goes, I lost everything on my phone and my computer. Everything's down. I got no Mongo logs. I've been writing them for weeks. And,
Probably just hit all the icons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
So I'm IT, so it's one of those things.
As
No,
long
don't
as you
call
didn't get
me.
the blue screen of death, you're good.
Yeah. Just shut it down. Restart.
Yeah. Reboot it up.
Yeah.
All right, Mongo. Thanks again, brother. And we will be talking to you soon.
Adios. We'll
Bye,
talk to you.
Mongo.
Adios, brother.
All right.
Man, that was Mongo with the Mongo log. You know, his wisdom is his perspective, and his perspective is his wisdom. So you take it for what it is worth. He does a lot of research. He gets it from a lot of different channels and a lot of different editorials. So he brings everything into one giant, truthful, his perspective Mongo log. So I want to thank you, Mongo, for bringing all that and putting so much work into it. Once again, we are running out of time, but Flex, what are we looking forward to for next week?
Well, that's a two-part question. The first part is we're going to make sure that you get set on your fitness journey, actually, with your fitness program. We already got your nutrition questionnaire, so we'll have your meal plan taken care of. And then I'm going to schedule an appointment next week so we can do the assessment for Pitbull and Haslett. So we're going to be having fun with that. We did film the assessment.
Yes.
So we'll look for that. And then what we're going to do it back to back.
Yeah. What we're going to do is I'm putting all those from the first time with my assessment.
I'll be a week behind. So
when she goes, we'll get her assessment, and then we will do that Pitbull's first day, my first day. We'll put those together, and then we'll track them.
And why don't we put and for those that are struggling, that are looking for different ideas for meal plans, why don't we go ahead and post the meal plans that my nutritionist got set for y'all?
That would be perfect. Yeah, that would be great. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. This way you can adjust as you want. And once again, like Flex said, call into the show if you have questions. If you have
meet me at the gym,
or meet us at the gym. But you can call into the show at any time, and Flex will answer your questions and give you the proper guidance. And if not, if you can't do it via phone call, they'll say meet him at the gym, and you can work things out.
Yes, sir.
So
I want to one more shout out. I got to visit the Chamber of Commerce of Benbrook this morning. Amazing crowd, amazing people. We're going to be doing some work with them. Also, I see Frank's been commenting for us. Frank with Rip Fitness. He was talking about the shoulder issues. Thank you, Frank. I'm going to be at Rip Fitness all day tomorrow. We're going to have some events going on over there. If you're in the Aledo, Benbrook, Fort Worth area, you like some of the things that we've been talking about, or you're trying to hit some goals, just have some questions. If you're in the area, stop by tomorrow. We'll be there.
Yeah. And Cody, what was it, Dr. Cody from last week?
Everett?
Cody. What was that?
Oh, you just did that.
Ed Hurt.
We'll call him Cody. Dr. Cody.
It's Dr. Cody.
Dr. Cody.
We love Dr. Cody.
Yeah, Dr. Cody, you can go on to the 99% Radio Network webpage, look at the supporters, and you can click on for Dr. Cody. One more event before we close out.
The big event.
It's
our first one that we're posting, the Pinups and Pistons, which is going to be May 3rd. We got celebrity judges. We have pinups. Got a couple more spots for pinups to be in the as a contestant. I got some vendors. I got a taco truck coming. I got a helicopter coming.
Oh.
I got a tank coming.
Yeah.
But you do need more food vendors, right?
I could use maybe one or two more vendors and some booze if anybody has some booze.
Also, next week I have my guest coming on the show. He's a former NFL player. He played for the Cowboys. He also played for the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
So he's going to be in. He's a motorcycle enthusiast, great athlete. Sam Hurd, since he left the NFL, has not done any interviews or anything like that. Talked to him. He's doing some consulting work, and he's excited to come on the show. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, we'd love to have him at Pinups and Pistons too. You can come on down and maybe just do some meet and greets if you can.
I will be there
and talk to some of him. But we are looking for more pinups. Now, remember, to become a pinup, it's free to enter.
Yeah, you just
it's
email
free to
me.
enter, and all you have to do is just come on down and strut your stuff.
Send
and,
me 3 pictures. I send you a consent.
Yeah,
Good.
and it's nothing risque.
Don't be skanky. I'll turn you away.
It's not nothing skanky.
Nothing.
It's anything in 50s or 60s
1950s, red, white, and retro.
Nice.
Red, white, and retro.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a fun day.
It's gonna be fun,
Also,
and
guys,
we're gonna have
Dawn
a great
said
time.
hello. Dawn said hello to us.
Oh,
Hi, Dawn.
Dawn. She is Dawn with Motorcycle Mayhem, and she is rocking the cure for rocking the road for cure. Check that out. She is a 3-time cancer survivor.
Wow.
MS, and she is still moving forward and battling and helping other people.
Amazing.
And playing the drums, and she's not letting anything keep her down. So thank you, Dawn, for your inspiration, because you get other people motivated. If you can do it, they can do it, and together we all can do it. So
Amazing,
You can
Dawn.
be anything.
And if you can be anything, be kind. Peace.